I've pressed record early just so that I can just get in there. Nova just said, we're sorting out the headroom. And she said, why can't you be smaller?
If I look like this because you've just done my face.
I was going to say, if you've clicked on this and not seen the prior video, it's because I did Nova's makeup and she looks gorgeous. Stop pretending like you're uncomfortable. You are living for this moment.
I'm really itchy.
Okay, so we're here today to talk to you about a television program we've recently finished. I suppose you could say we binge watched it. Not really, it was like one a day situation.
No, we watched the last, like 3 in like one night.
It's the OA.
Oh my god, the OA.
So it's a Netflix show. It's fairly new. It's only been on Netflix for a month or so, maybe.
Yeah, and it kind of came out of nowhere as well.
Yes.
There wasn't very much publicity about it. They just kind of stuck it out there. Yeah.
I wasn't aware of anything about it. There were no trailers or anything. It just came up in our lives suddenly.
It was all very mysterious. They put like a trailer up the day before it came out. And,
I feel like perhaps my mother suggested we watch this. Was it my mother said about it? And they just said, here's the hook, you guys. It's about a young girl who goes missing. Well, I'm already there with that. But she comes back 7 years later. She was blind when she left and now she can see again. And
that really is the only premise you can give people who haven't seen the show without spoiling it, because it grows and changes so much so quickly.
It's so unique though. I feel like there's no... I mean, maybe there are a whole bunch of references, but it just feels so unique.
Fresh.
Original. It feels so new that the whole kind of... I don't even know how you can explain it.
It doesn't slot into like a proper specific genre. I think
Probably
Wikipedia describe it as like a mystery thriller, which I think is sure, but there's also sci-fi elements, there's fantasy elements, really a bizarre one.
It seems very mild sort of horror elements to it as well, if you think about sort of what happens to them. But I didn't like the first episode. I thought the first episode...
Are we going to do spoilers now?
Are we going to say...
Spoiler alert.
You can't not do it.
Okay,
so going forward,
if you haven't
spoilers.
seen this show now, this is the end of the video.
Go watch it real quick and then come back.
Yes.
I didn't like the first episode. Stranger Things, the first episode, I thought, boom, that's great, I'm in, I'm there.
See, I didn't like the first episode of Stranger Things.
It's not like us to disagree. But the first one of this, I thought was sort of flimsy. I couldn't really get into it. I didn't care very much for the main bird, if I'm being honest. What's her name? Brit Marling. I thought she had a weird mouth.
I think you are on crack, because she is what like almost everybody who loves the show love the most about the show.
I mean, now I do like her. I do think she did
also the first episode
stellar job.
Grabbed me straight away. I was so hooked from the first episode.
Grabbed like a gypsy grabs someone. Gotta get to guard. Get him to wedding dress and get him to cuss. Gotta get to guard with a wedding dress. But I thought she was hard to get on board with at first. I didn't like where it was going, the tone I didn't really get. But that's like what you said, it switches it up so so much.
It really does.
Even by the third episode, suddenly there's sci-fi, supernatural.
You just don't know where it's going.
Like she's in heaven and stuff. I could have done without that, to be honest. The really supernatural.
What do you mean? That's the whole point of it.
I do prefer that it's open a bit more to interpretation though. Then you just see her in like a galaxy with some weird lady.
I don't know why
crate.
you didn't like that. I loved that.
I don't know. Maybe it's because going into it, I thought that bit got daft very quickly. And then by the end, it was more sober because it was really all about the movements to try and get them all out of this sort of compound. Which was, it's a little bit of a slow burner.
I don't know how you can say that that's more sober. I think a lot of people struggle with the movements. A lot of people have said they could not stop laughing.
No, because of the way it's shot. You don't see a magic portal open.
Yeah.
It's just people doing this. And Matt, you can imagine weirdo people doing that. You know what I mean? You're not shown what's in the Wonderland. You're told about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I prefer, you don't see the Blair Witch.
It's so itchy.
It's in your head. Well, I'll give you something to itch about. Favourite character, obviously,
BBA,
is, I gotta go. I'm eating a sandwich. She needs to have her own spin-off because she's incredible. That actress hasn't been in much, and here we go. I thought I recognised her from somewhere. And I said to Nova, oh my God, where is that actress from? She's been in something. And I was just thinking she was Fat Monica. Because that actress looks so much like Fat Monica from Friends. Obviously she didn't play Fat Monica.
She was Sadness in Inside Out.
Yeah, but you don't see her in Inside Out.
No, but you hear the voice.
Oh, yeah.
This is the thing about this show though, is that I actually had such an investment in each and every single character, even the ones that you don't really see much of. There was the kid with the long hair that you don't really see much of. And I mean, what was the trans boy called? Was his name Buck?
Yeah.
You don't see much of him either. Because they supported one another and they turned up to that house every night. I just felt like there was such a connection between all of them, and you really you felt for these people.
The idea as well that you can, go to the other side and attain some sort of secret information which you can then use in your life. It's like a secret power. Just the very idea, the very concept is so good. It's written by, I can't remember the man or lady's name that writes it. The surname is Batman Glij.
Right.
Yeah, Batman with like Glij on the end of it.
But Brit Marling, did she direct or produce it as well?
No, don't be daft.
She wasn't just an actress. I think she might have even written some of it.
Possibly.
Let me.
I just love the idea that if you interconnect all these weird movements.
Yeah, she created it. She's listed as one of the creators.
It's not very long. It's only how many episodes were there? 8.
And she was an executive producer.
Which is very British of them to do not many episodes.
Variety wrote an article about this show recently and they tweeted it. And they were saying how you shouldn't be thinking about this like a TV show because clearly the creators weren't. They think about it as a piece of cinema. And that harkens back to like the fact that it's 8 episodes, like there's a weird number of episodes, that the fact that they're all different lengths. They said they're called chapters, so think of them as chapters, they're not episodes.
They were different lengths, that was so weird.
Because chapters in a book are all different lengths. Once they've told the chapter, they're not going to carry it on for the sake of filling in 10 minutes.
I love that about Netflix. They have absolute complete control of everything, and they just experiment with absolutely everything.
But they were saying that this represents such a change in television. It took so many risks just in the structure of it, and that if this was pitched say 10 years ago, it would never have been picked up.
No, never. People would have been like, what's going on? I don't understand.
After the finale, can we just talk about the finale for a moment? Because that scene in the cafeteria,
goosebumps.
First of all, so unexpected.
Goosebumps.
Second of all, oh my god, like the most emotional thing in the world. I was like on the verge of tears the entire time.
When BBA was like, my boys.
Oh.
And she ran back for them. Because she loves them. Even the sort of asshole one that no one likes.
God, it was so emotional.
And they all got up and they all did the moves.
So powerful.
But at the end, she was shot, wasn't she? The OA.
Yes.
OA. She was shot. Was that her crossing over to the other side? What's going on there?
I believe it is. She might not have known at the time, but it would seem clear that like the easiest way to get to the other side is to die. That's why they've all been having their NDAs.
Yes.
But clearly you can't get to this specific dimension they're trying to get to without the movements.
Yes.
So the fact that they did the movements and then she was shot, she took to mean, okay, this is obviously what it is and I'm going to go across. And then the last scene was her saying, hello, Homer.
Homer was a babe, I thought. Very attractive. I thought it was very attractive.
Yeah, it was.
But you didn't think they're going to do a second season. Obviously they're going to do a second season.
I wouldn't be mad if they didn't.
I would be pissed off.
Because I feel like the ending was beautiful. Like I thought it was a perfect ending. But after researching the fuck out of this on like Reddit and things like that, there's so much that they could do a second season on. I now selfishly want a second season.
Well, I want to know what happened to all the rest of the gang that's, trapped down below in that...
Yeah, because they, as far as I understand it, Hap has brought them to this other dimension because that's where OA was. But what I would like to know is what happened to all the others, because OA was saying to BBA, when she was saying, I don't know if I'm ready to go to another dimension, she said, it's not going to be like just a portal you jump through, but it's going to be... you will have to willingly want to go there. But then, what was the main character's name? The main male guy, the douchebag. He really wanted to go, and it didn't look like he was going.
And he was running after the ambulance at the end.
Unless that's because she hadn't died yet, she hadn't actually gone yet. So maybe when she does go, he would get a chance to.
She'll find a way of... I think there'll be at least one more, and maybe then they'll all go with her, and it'll be happy days. Will she see her dad again? I know she saw him briefly and decided not to do it. Because she wanted to go strip Homer. We all do.
Yeah, he was quite cute. He's been in something else as well, I can't think what.
Backdoor Sluts 9. So, this is one of those things where you get it, You're so excited about it. Stranger Things was another one. You watch them all, and then there's a void in your life.
Can we talk about the comparison to Stranger Things? Because I didn't realise how polarising the reviews of the OA were. I mean, it's largely positive, but the bad ones are bad. Like, they slate it. And most of those bad reviews are comparing it badly to Stranger Things. I don't know how you can compare the two, even remotely. I
feel like they're not even. It's just because there's an alternate reality, which
all they're seeing is they're reading that it's a strong female lead who has some kind of supernatural powers, doesn't really speak much, and yeah, there's like an alternate dimension. They're just reading that and then comparing the two. I think they're completely different.
But they are different enough that I don't think you even need to. I think if it was the other way around, people would say Stranger Things was awful.
Yeah.
Because it was like a naff rip-off. So, you know, it's going to happen at some point in time. You're going to compare it. But who cares? Like,
I really hope they release some of the music. I don't know if it was
music was great,
or if it was created for the show. But the music was amazing. I particularly like the violin piece that OA plays in the subway. I loved that. I loved the piece of music they played just as she starts telling her story, and we get all these beautiful landscapes of Russia.
It's very appealing, just aesthetically, you know, to the ears.
Beautifully shot.
I was a bit confused. Alice Krieg is in it, and she was Christabella in Silent Hill, and that's scary.
She was a bit of a cunt in this, though, as well, don't you think?
Well, I mean, what would you...
Looking back on all of it, she kind of was just desperate to be needed. So she medicated this poor girl. I mean, she picked her in the first place because she was blind. She could have had a normal boy. She just wanted to look after her.
But
she thought a blind girl would need her, so that's why she picked her. I think she was very selfish in all of this.
I think you're just being really harsh on the poor lady.
I don't know. She lied as well. I just think she was a bit of a twat.
People lie, Nova. You do it all the time.
You do it all the time.
You.
Don't you start.
Are correct.
Also, there was another little thing that I found on Reddit, and I don't know if this is coincidental or not, but what was BBA's name? Betty Broderick Allen. Her brother was called Theo. Theo Allen.
What's that? Like the OA?
The OA.
Lynn.
Theo A. No, we've just hit the first initial. Theo A. I mean, that's a bit of a strange name to give a secondary character for no apparent reason.
Theo Allen. Alien. The O-Alien.
Well,
we thought it was about aliens.
I thought it was about aliens.
Who didn't think it was about aliens?
Yeah,
especially with the marks on her back.
I would really like to go back now and watch the first episode again. Just knowing everything else, I would like to watch that. Just the first episode again.
Yeah, and you can do that on your own. So what are we watching now? Westworld.
We've just started watching Westworld, and we know that we're behind the rest of the world, but we are loving it. We've seen the first 2 episodes, and we're absolutely obsessed.
Also, Dragula is something we're not going to review.
No.
What is you like Rugrats? Thank you for joining us today for this review of the OA. That rhymed. Click subscribe.
What are you
Join the Novympia cult.
Please stop. This is never going to be a thing. Never going to be a thing.
Become an asshole. And find our social media down below. Bye guys.
Goodbye.